Yeah, what's good? It's your boy Whispy Woodz. In this video, you guys, I want to wish you guys a happy holidays and a happy new year. Now, aside from that, I want you guys to really look at a lot of the things that we have done over the time. Okay, aside from the time traveling answers, we have made a lot of progress. Okay, now for those of you who have left me a few comments, kind of being negative towards all that we have gained here, saying that all we have is YouTube videos and no jetpack or whatever answer you're actually looking for, I want you to realize something, okay? What we have here is a catalog of different bits of information and or proof as to why we need to keep searching, okay? Not only do we have that, but we have a lot of evidence towards a lot of different truths that lead into a grander proof, okay? And that is not only potential, but a lot of different answers that I will be bringing up later on this year, or this coming year, as I should say. What I want to do in this episode is show you guys a bit of deleted scenes and or things that I didn't necessarily have time to show you in certain episodes. And it's just to give you guys a vote of confidence as to not only the fact that we have been looking at these things, but as to why GTA has been pointing them out, okay? I know that throughout different bits of my videos, whether it be the frequency video or even the newest video be about time travel, I want you to realize that these two conform to each other just as much as the next to the next, okay? They are all supposed to be connected, and it's so that you can gain a big following along the way, okay? Now, for those of you who honestly just don't like what I do here, you're honestly, you are well within your rights to have your judgment and to believe that I'm wrong or believe that I do whatever for any intention, okay? But I want you to realize I do this for you guys, okay? I'm dead serious about that. I do it for you guys, all right? Don't think I get paid that much off of this shit or anything, you guys. Like, I really do this for you guys, okay? The fact of the matter here is, you guys, is that this whole mystery can be a lot more interesting than we have let it on, okay? But if it's one thing throughout the mystery that I have made note is that symbolisms, okay, and different symbols throughout the game teach you things and so on and so forth. But it is the clues, okay, that come from the Easter egg that drive us into deeper patterns of clues that give us answers, okay? And this is no different than looking at frequency and understanding how it moves and understanding why it conforms to the same rhythm of potential and kinetic. But that's neither here nor there. I want to kind of take you back to a big point of process that I had in my first episode, and that was Truth Episode 1, See the Eye. And it was a big leeway as to what the eye meant, be it about birds and their connectivity towards helicopters and top-down perspectives. Now, what I'm going to do is show you a bit of what I did not show in that video and just certain little things that GTA has honestly confirmed along the way as to why we need to look at what we're looking at, especially with helicopters. And throughout this video, I'll be showing you how when they bring up birds, they're talking about helicopters, okay? Throughout the whole game. Now, what I'm showing you here, once again, is something that I couldn't show in that video in particular because of time restraints, but I'm here to show you it now because of not only because of the importance, but because we have gained a sense of understanding throughout the mystery, okay? Now, with the exception of Chinatown Warriors, be it that it is its own game set apart from these different stories, okay? We need to realize that a big part of these stories all run together, okay? In particular, from GTA 3 to GTA 5, and most in between that all correlate with each other, okay? From Vice City, San Andreas, Liberty City Stories, Vice City Stories, 4, and even episodes of Liberty City, okay? all of these different games have one thing in common, okay? And it's a fucking helicopter, if you haven't noticed. In every single cover, okay, of the games that correlate with each other, they have a similarity within this bird, okay? And this is something that, once again, should have been noticed from day one. Now, I gotta give a really, really big shout out to my boy Sparamedics, because he actually pointed out something that, I meant to put in a video a long time ago. I just never honestly got the chance to. But I feel as though it is right to make these things relevant, and that way we know that they're out of the way to move on into bigger and better things when it comes to clues. Now, within this episode, Underestimated Clues from Back to the Future, okay, there was a few things that I brought up when it comes to Biff Tannen, okay, the main antagonist of Back to the Future. Now, not only do these things have to do within the symbolism within the game, be it that we have a Biff truck, okay, and that the Back to the Future Easter egg is one of the biggest things that we are trying to achieve when it comes down to time traveling. When it really does come down to it, you guys, okay, Back to the Future was to be understood from literally day one, not just 1.21 gigawatts. Now, when it comes to the first house that we actually go inside of, okay, that be it Franklin's house, one of the biggest clues that we get is right in front of us. And I've already made this relevant, but for a different reason. And that was tying Ice-T and a lot of different relevant clues that had to do with Law and Order. But not only is that universal, but so is Mad Dog, okay? Because when it really comes down to it, you guys, Mad Dog was put in our face for more reasons than just one.
Mad Dog. I hate that name. I hate it. You hear? Nobody calls me Mad Dog. Especially not some duded up, egg-sucking gutter drag.
Encounters the elf, Honey Thorn Gump. Okay. So ask yourself, is this the reason why Children of the Mountain, Franklin's cult, actually has a banner that says, "Find out about your elf on the mountains"? Or is this the reason why right next to it it says, "Pick your ring"? Very interesting. You know what's interesting is that when I made those sections of those videos, a few people actually wondered if I was actually correct. They wondered if Franklin should be in a cult or not, or, is it even relevant, or is it even necessary? Now, what I'm going to tell you guys is the same thing I told them, is that I'm going purely off of what's implied based on the implications that are hidden, okay? Purely hidden. And what I mean by that is, I want you to understand that they clearly showed us Franklin, okay? They showed us a kid version of Franklin here. They could have chose any other kid. They could have made any other kid for this specific process within the Children of the Mountain website. But they chose Franklin's younger self exactly, okay, to demonstrate what they're talking about here. So I'm going to not only show you that this is exactly Franklin, if you do not already know, but understand that this is an implication as to why he is needed within Children of the Mountain. Now, as you can clearly see, okay, we have Franklin here, alright? Franklin as a kid. And this is the exact kid that they use within the Children of the Mountain process, okay? Now, yes, this is somewhat of a known fact if you do not already know. But what's not a known thing, okay, is something that they try to somewhat hide, that I've seen no one talk about. And that is his grandparents right here, okay? Or what we can assume are his grandparents. Because when it really comes down to it, you guys, there are a lot of different little things that try to hide, okay? But that's what I mean by implication, okay? We have an implication of his grandparents here, but his grandparents are in front of children of the mountain, okay? Meaning that this person, Franklin, is implied to be associated with this cult regardless of how we looked at it. Whether we looked at the kid or we looked at a picture in his own home. Children of the Mountain is more useful than we could ever imagine, and we will be decoding exactly why later on. Now, the last few are from some of my more recent videos, okay? Now, I want you guys to realize, yes, there were a few things that I did leave out within these answers, okay? Because there's more to decode along the way, all right? And we will be doing that much more along this consistent process. But I want you guys to realize that we gained what we learned from learning thus far. So we will be gaining more knowledge along the way, only to come to stronger answers than even before, okay? The fact is you guys, I've come up with a lot of examples to show you exactly why potential and kinetic energy are exactly what we need when it comes down to energy for time travel. But there's a few examples, okay, that I need to show a few people who honestly still do not believe us here. Now, again, this is not to completely sway every single bit of the audience. I mean, if you disagree, you disagree. But it does not hurt to know exactly what you're disagreeing on, because the fact is that when the answer is so close into your face, it could sound too simple and quite ludicrous. But when things are as simple as potential, then they just might be right in front of your face within being an answer. Now, before I do continue on with a few more examples, I want those of you to understand I'm working my ass off when it comes to actually doing these experiments, and not just researching but actually time traveling. I'm working my ass off on it. So if you think I'm just looking up shit just so you can have a smile on your face with some information, no, realize that I'm working my ass off over here to get you guys what you want, okay? But learning these things along the way, not only will it not hurt, but it will help us find better things along that path. So, along this path, we have gained a lot of different examples for potential energy, okay? But there are a few that I did not get to read off that I feel as though conform perfectly with not only the game, but with what has been exhibited throughout the game, okay? And one of those things, quite frankly, is something that we got before a lot of us actually played the game. See, in the collector's edition, you receive a blacklight map, okay? A map that you need to shine a blacklight over in order to see the secret messages and so what. But the fact of the matter here is that when it comes down to potential radiant energy, okay, one example of this is a black light turned off, okay? So just leaving your black light sitting there is showing you the answer. They literally gave us a reason to have the answer once again. Now, once again, that's not the only reason why I brought you here. There's a lot of reasons for us to kind of pay attention to all the same things, but all the things that kind of bring us to one grand thing, okay? And say these things were to ultimately lead us to the sun. Well, not only does potential and kinetic energy have to do with the orbit of the sun and so on and so forth, a swimming pool of water before it's heated, not only from the sun, but think about it, you guys, hot tubs. And we have them everywhere in GTA, okay? A swimming pool of water before it's heated. Now, if that honestly does not convince you that potential energy is exactly what we have been looking at in subtle different ways, I want you to pay attention to something that is bound by potential sound energy, okay? An owl before it hoots. Now, I want you guys to pay attention to a sound. Now, what you heard there, you guys, was owls, okay? Owls hooting. Now, the point, you guys, is that we actually have, once again, another example of why potential energy has always been a part of this game, showing us in the right way. Not physically, but in a deeper clue. And by deeper clue, I mean some source material, okay? Birds. Not only pigeons and crows and chickens, but a lot of different other assortments of birds. The fact is that within GTA 5, there are some places such as Mount Gordo where owls, okay, you guys, owls can be heard hooting. Okay, they can be heard hooting, but they don't physically appear in the game. Now, I ask you, why the fuck would they have an animal, okay, tied to the sill of Los Santos, and then they have seagulls, great cormorants, hawks, chicken hawks, pigeons, and even dead birds in this game, but they protest to give you an owl even though they have the sounds of an owl? Is it because the sound of an owl actually gives us some understanding? Possibly. And it's possibly because potential has been, once again, in front of our face and even in our ears. But before we do go, I want to ask you guys a serious question, okay? And I want a serious answer. For those of you who do not believe in what we do, for those of you who feel as though all of this is too far-fetched and it's way too much and it's really not going to amount to anything but videos, okay? For those of you who feel that, I'm going to ask you one question. What was the biggest Easter egg clue that we had in GTA 5? What was the biggest clue? Because technically it wasn't the mural, you guys. I mean, the mural has us looking for several other things around the map. I mean, we don't know if that fucking jetpack man is a scuba suit or a jetpack yet. I mean, the fact is we know it's a shadow and we know it's actually a symbol, okay? That's what we do know as far as the mural's concerned. But what is the best clue we ever got? Okay, I'm going to tell you. It was Jack Sheep servicing Tri-Manifold R108, okay? It was an anagram. Now I want you guys to understand the point. Jack Sheep, a name and segregation of a name, leading to an actor and or a star. Understanding the cocketeer, a duality of the answer, which is the rocketeer. R108 is not only a universal clue towards 108 minutes being the runtime, but Jetpack Confirmed is also spelled well within the anagram, fully spelled out. Now, the point here, you guys, okay, the point is none of that. None of that is the point. The point is that we got to Jack Sheep, okay, through understanding an Easter egg deeper than it was supposed to be understood. Fact, you guys. This is fact. We went up there, we saw a UFO, we looked deeper and saw a clue. Guess what, you guys? That's the same thing that we have been doing for 100 and something videos, you guys. That's what we've been doing. Going deeper into Easter eggs, understanding the clue, then connecting that clue to another clue that is a symbol across the map, okay, to relay more truth. So I ask you, seriously, I ask you, am I really far-fetched? Or am I doing the same thing that the community has been doing, just a little deeper? Now, for those of you who understand that this mystery needs to be decoded in order to be understood, I want you guys to stay tuned for the next few episodes, because they will be a great source of information, especially when it comes down to the beginning of Grand Theft Auto and exactly why we are paying attention to a lot of these elements within the mystery and exactly where they came from.